Hello everyone, welcome back to the sessions about famous people in Yunnan. This time, I will talk about another 5 people. They are Cai E, Li Gengyuan, Ai Siqi, Xiong Qinglai, and Luo Binghui. Now, the first one I will introduce is Cai E. Mr. Cai E was born in Shaoyang County of Hunan Province. He graduated from Japan Land Force Officer School and held various positions. He moved to work in Yunnan in 1911 and helped launch the Chongjiu Uprising in Kunming with Li Gengyuan and Tang Jiyao. He was then elected Governor General of the Yunnan military government. Then he was transferred to Beijing in 1913 and held other positions after that. He was against Yuan Shikai's restoration of the dethroned autocratic monarchy, and in 1915 he came back to Kunming secretly and began the movement of suppressing Yuan Shikai. He led the troops to fight in Sichuan and defeated the Yuan army several times. As more support came from other provinces, Yuan Shikai had to give up his throne. Then Cai E became the Governor General of Sichuan province. Later on, he went to Japan to cure his throat disease and died in hospital attached to Fukuoka University. In Kunming, there are several historic sites to commemorate this uprising, such as the Huguo Memorial Post, Huguo Road, and the Huguo Bridge. In Kunming, there's one of his former residence, which is called Deyi House, in the architecture style, which is popular during the late Qing dynasty. Now, the second one I will introduce for this session is Li Gengyuan. Li Gengyuan was born in Tenchong County. In 1904, he went to Japan to study military affairs. In 1905, he joined the Chinese Revolutionary League and took on the role of chairman of the Yunnan Native Association in Japan and became manager of the journal called Yunnan. In 1909, he returned to China and helped set up the Yunnan Military Academy. During his time as chief supervisor and executive of the Military Academy, it became a famous military academy in Chinese history. In 1911, he helped lead the Chongjiu Uprising, took part in the 1911 Revolution, and was later the General Director of the Yunnan Military and Administration Department and President of the Provincial Senate. Later, he took part in the state protection movement. In 1917, he was appointed Governor of Shanxi Province. Then, in 1947, he took the position as National Policy Counselor for the government. Li Gengyuan was a productive scholar and collected many documents. He also wrote many books about local history and culture. 2 residences of Li Gengyuan can be found in Yunnan. The one in Tenchong lies beside the Daying River and is called Dieyuan Garden, and is a civil-structured courtyard architecture. The second one is in Jiubao Town in Lianghe County and is a typical square courtyard popular in western Yunnan. Both are cultural sites under provincial protection. The third one for this session is Ai Siqi. Ai Siqi was born in Tenchong County. In 1925, he started his study in the #1 provincial secondary school and later went to Japan as an overseas student. After his return from Japan in 1931, he began editing the column called Questions and Answers in a newspaper named Shenbao. In the same year, he published his popular philosophy, which provided enlightenment to the Chinese people, particularly the young people, the young Chinese. In 1937, he went to Yan'an and successively held positions as director of the Marxism-Leninism Philosophy Research Institute and then secretary of the publicity department of the Central Committee of the CPC, as well as general editor of the journal called Chinese Culture. After liberation, he became an academician of the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, associate director of the Chinese Philosophy Institute, and a professor of the Literature and Art Institute of Beijing University. His works include Philosophy and Life, Historical Materialism, Essentials of Dialectical Materialism, and Theories and Practice. His former residence in Heshun of Tenchong County has been turned into the Ai Siqi Memorial, and it is a provincial historic site under protection. The fourth one is Xiong Qinglai. Xiong Qinglai was born in Mile County in Yunnan Province. He studied in Belgium and France, majoring in mathematics, and obtained his doctoral degree in France. He returned to China in 1921, and after that, he participated in setting up the departments of arithmetics at Southeast University, Northwest University, and Tsinghua University, and the research department of arithmetics in Tsinghua and the Journal of China Mathematics Association. When he was in France as a visiting scholar, he published the internationally influential paper called Entire Function and the Infinite Meromorphic Function. His research findings were named Xiong's Principle. In 1934, he returned to China and worked in Tsinghua University. In 1937, he was invited to be the president of Yunnan University. During his 12 years as president, he made a number of great achievements. In 1949, he went to Paris for an international conference and stayed there to cure his disease, doing research at the same time. In 1957, he came back to China and then worked in the Chinese Academy of Sciences until his death. He taught many great students, such as Hua Luogen, Chen Xingsheng, and Yang Le. The two residences of Xiong Qinglai are historic relics under provincial protection. One is a two-storied civil architecture in Yunnan University City campus, and another is a brick and timber structure in local style in Mile County. The last person for this session is Mr. Luo Binghui. Luo Binghui was born in Yiliang County of Zhaotong City in Yunnan Province. He joined the army in 1914 and took part in the state protection movement and in the Northern Expedition War. In 1927, he joined the Communist Party and served as the regimental commander, brigade commander, army commander, and division commander. He took part in the Long March, and when the war against the Japanese broke out, he was the vice commander of the New Fourth Army and the commander of the 5th Section. In 1946, he was appointed Deputy General of the New Fourth Army and Deputy Military Commander of Shandong Provincial Military Command. He died on June 21, 1946, in Lanling County in Shandong Province. All through his life, he took part in many battles and did much for the nation. He was one of the 33 strategists of the Chinese Revolution as declared by the Central Military Commission. He was the prototype of the general in a movie called From a Slave to a General, which showed his glorious life. In Zhaotong City, there's a square named after Luo Binghui, and also a bronze statue of him in martial attire. In his hometown of Yiliang, there's a Luo Binghui exhibition room in a civil structure. It is a key historic relic under provincial protection. All right, the above are the 5 famous people I introduced in this session. We will continue to learn more in the following session. Bye for now. See you next time. 这里是课程中的关键词汇，同学们别忘了，这也是知识点。